I wanted to create a video for our science writing, mostly because there are three classes sort of that have become combined into one class, and we're all in very different spots. And what I noticed is that the students from Mrs. Tranch and Mrs. Mitek came in and did not have headings done for their science writing. And my class already did that. However, if you, for some reason, were absent, missed that instruction, didn't do it for one reason or another, and you're in my class and have been all year, you can still watch this and catch up. But this is mostly meant for the kids who are coming from the other classes who have not yet done their headings. Now, what is a heading? Well, and why are we doing it? Notice at the very bottom of our original assignment, it talks about what our task is here and what our focus of our writing piece is. It talks about what we need to pull evidence from. Talks about kind of our three big ideas. But look at this. Ooh, it says we need to use headings to organize our information. And because it says this, I'm making sure that it gets done. So what your job is today is actually pretty simple. Hopefully you've gotten some of this done in class. If not, you can get it done for homework tonight, because then we're going to do more and it's going to take a little longer, like paragraph 2. So I want you to get this done before we get to the more difficult thing. So headings. What are headings? Well, really, they're essentially like a title almost. Headings are words or phrases that tell the reader what the paragraph will be about. It's almost exactly like a topic. The difference is it's not a complete sentence. So it can be one word. It can be 2 words. It can be 3 words. Sometimes it's, this one obviously is 5. But it really depends on what you're trying to say. It's just a couple words that give the topic of that section. Think of it almost like a title, okay? So in this case, this paragraph, by looking here at this heading, I can already tell the paragraph is going to be mostly about frogs and toads and the fact that they are what is called an amphibian. Okay, I already have a preview. So here's another example. It looks like this is more for the entire piece. Typically, we actually refer to headings as the overall title and then subheadings as the title of a paragraph. But this is talking about it as headings, so that's okay. So I'm not going to get worried about the language today. But here again, this one is obviously, as you can see, multiple paragraphs. And it's saying all about fish. That one's not as specific as this one. But I obviously know that we're going to be hearing about fish here. Okay, probably lots of different types of fish, I'm assuming. Here's another example of headings. Now look, this you can't read probably very well, but the point is you can see there's 1, 2, 3. So it's like basically splits the writing into sections to help organize your reader. So your reader can go, oh, here's my introduction, I'm guessing. All right, now we've got a new section that's probably focused on something else. Aha, another section focused on something else, and another section focused on something else. It helps focus the reader, and usually you're not going to see this in something that's like a narrative. This is very much a text feature that you're going to see in informational writing. And so it's sort of like informational writing's equivalent of chapter titles when you're reading a chapter book. It's very similar to that, but it's often done in a magazine format or a book format. It can be any nonfiction text, really. Breaks apart sections or paragraphs, gives that section or paragraph a title or a focus. All right, so here's another. These are even more simple. Notice there's not one rule, because these are like, this is a one word. Still works. I mean, it's not very exciting, but it works. Whereas these, like if I were to zoom in, you can tell they're much more interesting headings. Step into the desert. Oh, well, I'm guessing we're going to learn about the desert. This one says, drooling dragons and spitting salamanders, the indoor children's garden. Well, I would assume there's in that garden, just from reading that. I can't read this because it's too small. I'm guessing that the drooling dragon is either maybe it's a statue or a play place, or maybe it's literally a type of lizard or something, right? Like a Komodo dragon or something. I don't know. And obviously there must be some kind of salamander thing in there too, but it's kind of vague too, so I don't actually know exactly what it's going to be about, which makes me kind of interested. Something to do with dragons and salamanders, but what? Then here it says a lush forest of palms. So I know I'm going to learn something about a forest area that has a bunch of palms, right? So it gives that area of focus. It allows you to also scan a text quickly and go, oh, I know I'm going to learn about this, this, and this. So you need that for your paragraph. And in our writing, we know we need at least 2 paragraphs. Now, depending on your reading level and the teacher that you started this assignment with, you may be going through and doing 2 paragraphs or 3. It really depends on the teacher you started with and your reading and writing level. I would say that most students are probably doing 2 paragraphs. There are some that we've given a challenge to do all 3. If you have been assigned 2 paragraphs, you are going to do the paragraph on how spices were used and a paragraph on how spices affect trade and business. If you are also doing a 3rd paragraph, then you're also going to do one about how spices were used to gain power. Your job is to come up with a heading for each paragraph you are doing. If you are only doing 2 paragraphs, you are only doing 2 headings. If you are doing 3 paragraphs, you are doing 3 headings. Your heading should match the focus of the paragraph. So my heading for paragraph 1 needs to be about how spices were used, okay? If you just write spices, though, that's not enough because the whole thing's about spices. So you need to somehow figure out a way to incorporate how spices were used. It doesn't have to be as literal as saying uses of spice. It doesn't have to be that direct. It can be kind of interesting. Keep it fun. Get creative with it, okay? And then this one, obviously, the second one would have to have something to do with trade and business, okay? You decide how you want to interpret that because it's up to you to come up with a title for that section that tells us that's what it's about. And then finally, power if you're doing a 3rd, okay? Again, we're looking at it as almost like a heading, title, whatever you want to call it, preview of that section. Okay, now you might be thinking, well, where the heck do I put this little heading? Well, again, this is why this project's complicated and I'm making a video because it depends on the teacher you came from. Most of you, I have transferred your work into this table. Here, let me move myself. This table here. This is what my class started with from the beginning, the original class. Sorry about the glare on my glasses, by the way. It's just the way the room is. These are my blue light glasses, and I need them because my eyes hurt. It's already 7:30 p.m., so my eyes are like, Okay, so off topic. So, okay, if you have this note taker, then look, it says body paragraph 1 heading. In parentheses, I put title because it's basically the same thing. So your uses heading will go in this box right here. Remember, it's not a sentence, it's a couple words. You're going to ignore this today, but all of you should have already done that, I hope. That's just where your first paragraph goes, like the whole thing. Look at, again, we've got body paragraph 2 heading. So this is where your trade business title / heading goes. You're not worrying about this box today because we are going to do that later, okay? So now again, of course, if you are doing 3 paragraphs, you will have a third place to put it. You'll have like an additional box down here that says body paragraph 3. So that might also help you to know, oh yeah, I am doing 3, or oh, I don't see that box, so I must be doing 2. Now, why is there another note taker here? Well, this table, note taker is not really the right word. I think I'm used to doing literacy too much with you guys. I should say table or organizer. This table here was created for Mrs. Yamamoto's group. This is the group that's a little bit behind. You might be doing this on a completely different day, actually, than the group that's over here. And you guys, we wanted to keep this note taker just short and sweet and simple, real scaffolded for you so you could see exactly what you need in each box. But we don't have these headings parts. What do we do? Well, actually, it really doesn't matter to me where you put it. You could like put a single word right here or right here or off to the side, okay? You could also just like plop it on the top before you write your big idea sentence and your 3 evidence sentences. So it could just go like right above, and then your following 4 sentences will follow. So just pick a spot for it. Really, it probably makes the most sense to put it inside of one of these boxes, and you could just use like drawing tool or something. But you could also put it off to the side, like over here. And remember, it's just a word or 2. Keep it real simple. Remember the focus of that paragraph. So that's your job today, is just get those headings done. Now, if you don't have either one of these, it could be because you already started, and then I might have just put big idea. Like I think I'm going to use this example. I'm not going to show you too much about whose this is or anything, but you can see this student already started writing it out. But her teacher that she came from didn't have them do headings, so I just added this above her paragraphs. So this student, if you're in this situation where you don't have all these little boxes, just add it where Mrs. Croteau put the words on your page, okay? Hopefully that makes some sense. Your goal is to kind of get this done tonight if you can, for homework if you didn't finish it in class. So hopefully if you're watching this video, that's your goal tonight. Get that done. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to be able to start moving on to like the evidence stuff. Okay? All right.